Hi all, it's Froggy Friday. It is also 13 Days of Halloween organised by Lula at Nerd Goblin Art and 31 Days of Halloween organised by Alison at Stressful Mum Paints. Playlists will be linked here. Obviously, Froggy Friday needs a frog. I've got these beautiful purple eyes. I've marked the back to show which way the purple goes. So, just so they both go in the same direction instead of random. So, dear, something in my mould from the last time. Got it. Right. Little drop of UV resin into the eye socket. Drop that in. Get myself a little pokey stick. And normally I have the eyes going side to side, but this time I want them to be pointing kind of up and down. I need to give it a quick blast with the UV torch to hold that eyeball in place before I turn it over to do the other one. Then I will pop them under my big UV light to make sure they're fully set before we move on. So I'm going to do that off camera. We've seen it a million times, and I will see you very shortly. The eyes are in place now, so we're ready to move on to the next stage. But before I can mix my resin, I need some gloves. Bag of magic. Right, I've got roughly 90 grams of resin for some eye crystal mixed up. I'm going to start with a little bit of black mica powder. Now I don't want this to be too heavy because I'm going to use stones. And I have said this a billion times, but I use the stones for a number of reasons. One being that it saves an awful lot of resin and therefore money. But it also saves a lot of time in that I can do this in one layer instead of several because my resin is not designed to go this deep. Mix in the powder. Well, yes, it's opaque, but it should be hopefully enough that you will see the stones that I'm going to use, because for a change I'm not using black stones. I'm just going to give this a quick spray of isopropyl alcohol in case there's any bubbles of unmixed powder rising to the surface, and I can see a couple. So just burst the bubbles. Why is that not bursting? It's odd. Okay, got it finally. And I'm actually using purple. It's decorative sand. Just going to chuck a load of this in. I'm hoping that you'll get a decent kind of purple cast to it when it dries. I need a lot more than what I've just put in. I just like to add it in stages so that I can mix it in without getting too many air bubbles trapped in there. I just find it mixes easier this way. Opinions vary. That's okay. You should always do what works best for you. I just find it's a lot harder to mix if you add the resin to the sand rather than the other way around. I don't think you're going to see an awful lot of purple coming through the other side. I think I put too much mica powder in there. No matter. Not the end of the world. because there are other things planned as well. So, here we go. I'm going to throw this all in. Well, not all of it, because I've got too much. Now this does kind of, sort of looks like it fizzes up. It's because of the air bubbles trapped in the sand will rise to the surface. You do need to keep an eye on it for a little while. And try not to do that because it's very messy to clean up. Now I can see some bubbles forming under here. I'll try and tease them out. And then sand all the way up into the toes. I've actually filled this a little bit too full because I need to move it. I'm just going to leave it on my desk for a little while. Because if I try and move it now, it's just going to go everywhere. It's okay, I have a couple of other things that I want to make, but they can wait for a couple of hours. Will not hurt. I'm going to assist this and get it down to the right level and up to the right level. Don't really want it standing higher than the mould because that just means more work for me to do in terms of sanding down afterwards. Hook this up there. And I can see how much more I need to put in there, which is not a lot. I'm going to let that find its level. I'll watch it for bubbles. I'll blast off. I could use isopropyl alcohol, but because I've filled it so full, that would break the surface tension and we'd end up with the resin going outside the mould, and I don't want that either. So I'm going to go and find something else to put this in. I'll keep checking for bubbles, top it off if I need to in various places, and I will be back for the demold. See you in a bit. Again, BatFrog needs some wings. So I printed these off because I want them to actually match, whereas if I did them freehand, they might not look too bad, but they wouldn't be quite right. So rather than using the UV resin like I normally do, I'm going to use this 3D Effects liner and hope that it does what I want it to do. I've never used this before. In theory, it should dry quite solid. I can't even trace properly. My hands are so shaky. Okay, now I don't know how long this is going to take to dry, so I'm going to put it to one side. Because this then will form kind of like a wall for the UV resin. I don't want to do those lines down the middle with this because I'm concerned that if it doesn't completely set, then it'll just snap there. So I'm going to fill these with UV when this is done. And I will be back to see you shortly. Bye. Right, this seems to be dry. So I'm going to mix some of this absolutely gorgeous black glitter. Kind of a mix of funky and fine. I'm going to mix that with some UV resin. Let's have a little spready stick. And hope that this isn't too difficult to cure. I'm just going to blob it on like that, but I'm going to spread it out really quite thin, I hope. So I can already see what I should have done is just lay down some clear UV and put the glitter on top. It would have been much easier than doing it this way. This is going to be quite fiddly. I will speed through this for you. So I'll get the rest of this into the other wing. I may need to add a little bit more. Hopefully this will be enough. I really need to silence the notifications popping up on my phone. I can't see the screen. A gap there. And another little gap there. What I'm going to do, if, as I suspect, I've got more glitter on this one than I have on the other, I will do them up. And I will be putting another layer of UV on top. Now this one will probably get a clear layer. This one will probably need a little bit more glitter in it. Didn't do a very good job of making sure they were equal, did I? It's when you rush things. I am very, very impatient. So, yeah. Once this layer is cured, this one will get a clear layer. This one will get a little bit more glitter in, so they pretty much match up. And I'll be back when we're ready to move on. See you in a sec. These have had the second coat. As you can see, I've gone over, but I can trim that off. Now, to try and get them off the sheet. Now, as I suspected, this, maybe it's because it's still, still warm from the UV light, but if I can get the cap off, I'm going to use a scraper because I want to attempt to keep the black edging. It's a bit on the soft side. And it's not actually fully set underneath. You can see it on the blade. So I'm going to put this to one side, let it cool down, and finish drying out. And I'll be back very soon. See you in a bit. Hi all, it's demoulding time. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this came out. Yep, we have got, as suspected, many little bubbles under here, and I'm fully expecting the same under there. That's because the sun releases so much bubbles. And you can only leave it so long before you have to pour it. but that's okay. Right, let's see if we can see any of the purple at all. Ah, no, that's a bit sad. But never mind, he's pretty anyway. Actually, he's supposed to be pretty because he's a BatFrog. Now, finish him off. So I got the wings finished. I domed them on both sides. And they're a pretty decent match. This 3D liner is slightly sort of strangely rubbery, but that's okay. So wings are also quite a lot bigger than I was expecting. Next time when I do the print, I will measure better. I'm going to start, do one at a time. I'm going to use super glue. Sorry, there's a large vehicle just pulled up outside. I'm just going to put a bead of super glue. So this is super glue gel, which is very weird stuff. And it doesn't want to stop running out of the tube either. Get that lid on before it sets there. I'm going to start just here. I need it to be more or less central because obviously I need to get the other wing on as well. I want it to run along the edge of the body to hold it in place. So that's going to take a minute. I might need to just pop a little bit of glue on the other end, sit it on his toe and up against his knee, just to make sure he stays put. And I need to lift it up to see what I'm doing. So I'll come back when the wings are in place. See you in a sec. All right, well, these are very delicate. They're only actually attached here behind the front legs and at the knees because they're too big and they're not actually touching the body. But no matter, I still think he looks cool. So I'm going to do his toes with this metallic marker. Because otherwise he looks a bit plain. Don't really want to move him just yet. I want to make sure the glue is set. So I'm attempting to do this without shifting him at all. This is not the best angle to do this from, but I know if I pick him up, it's going to fall apart. So I'm going to leave him a little while, make sure that the glue is completely set, and then I'll get you some photos. Please check out the playlist down here. So we've got 13 days of Halloween, 31 days of Halloween, and Froggy Friday, all in one playlist, or 3 separate playlists, all in the description. If you like Froggy, give us a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, please do. It does help my channel out an awful lot. And I will see you very soon for the next one. Bye.
Welcome to the dragon's cave where the colors start to shine. Mixing resin, pouring dreams, crafting keeps me fine. With epoxy, UV sparkle, eco powders too. A swirl of paint, a world I make, come create with me.